So just a bit of an update. I'm currently in Jaffna. Today's the last day in Jaffna, but I've been away for about 4 weeks, overseas for 4 weeks. So first part was about a week or so in India for my mother's sort of graduation reunion, and we've come to Sri Lanka. We've been in Colombo, the capital city, for a few days visiting my grandparents.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you, dear?
Yeah,
you
good.
Look great to me.
Thank you
Thank you so
You look
much.
good on the camera. Can you see yourself on the camera?
Yeah.
And we're up to Jaffna, which is where my parents were born and grew up and raised. And we're staying in one of my family members, like my auntie's house, and my parents are building a house just next door, so we're going to check that out. But yeah, it's been a real surreal experience. And I guess we'll check out the house, sort of an update, and then maybe in a few years my parents will be living in Jaffna and I can come and visit. This is the view from the outside, but can you see me even? While I was in Colombo, I got my dual citizenship, so that's been sorted out since 2016 to 2023 right now. I've sorted out my dual citizenship, so I'm a dual citizen for New Zealand and Sri Lanka. But while I was in Colombo a few weeks ago, I was sorting out my passport and national ID card, which allows me to travel a lot easier to Sri Lanka. So this is my parents' house just here. So I guess what we can do is we can go and have a look at the house inside. So this is the entrance of the house, and we'll have a look inside. I'm going to switch lenses and just try and provide some commentary, but don't expect too much. It's still a work in progress. Great, so we just switched the lens view, and let's have a step inside. So I've got no idea what these rooms are going to be used for. We've got room is kind of living area, living space. Here's another room. Presumably it's going to be for, I think, Apusami prayer room. So I think the priest was just here, and I think potentially this could be used for the prayer room. I'm not entirely sure. And yeah, check out the view. I don't think you can see it, it's a bit overexposed. I'll just drop the exposure down. But yeah, no one out there, pretty much just pure farmland. The ventilation is really good. So I think right now it's about 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 a.m. And it does get quite warm, quite hot during the middle of the day, but a bit of a nice breeze and a nice view as well. So that's more of Jaffna farmland. Let's go to another room here. Let's just change the exposure a wee bit. It's obviously going to get a roof on top there as well. But the roofs are really high, and the reason for that is if you have a really high roof, the heat obviously rises, and if you have a shallower roof like we do back in New Zealand or colder households, generally that heat's going to stick around. So you want a taller roof, and obviously you're going to get a ceiling put on that. But that's the roof up there, and you get a ceiling on top. And you can see all these kind of holes here as well to help improve flow. I don't know about privacy though. Here's another room, and the height is just perfect. I mean, can see it doesn't really get I can fit under the door. So great, and this is going to be the kitchen, I believe. So what's going to be used is a wood fire. So they actually, my parents will actually, or mum will actually light up a fire and cook something. And obviously I think they're going to use a gas stove as well, but a fire to cook, for example, the rice. And we were living in my auntie's house, which we were just in before, and we were cooking rice by fire. Great, just going to head back now. Same living area that we just went in through before. We've got this thing here. And last room, and I believe it's going to be my room, not sure. Here we are. Here's the important room, my room. And we've got power points that are going to be put in eventually, I think, here as well. And I kind of want to just thank you for watching this far into the video. I hope you found it quite useful. And I kind of want to share, since you come this far into the video, I guess you kind of invested. I kind of want to share a goal of mine, or kind of an idea or a thought. So this is actually the room that my parents said this is going to be my room. When they do move to Sri Lanka and Jaffna, so currently in New Zealand. Since being on this trip, I just think my parents are a lot happier. We're on holiday, but my parents are a lot happier being in Sri Lanka versus being in back in New Zealand. I don't know, just something about the community here and where my parents grew up, because obviously, as you know, my parents grew up in Jaffna, had to leave because of the Sri Lankan Civil War, and obviously that war finished in 2009, I believe, and they're back here. They can come back here now. An idea of mine is, let's say my parents do move here, which will probably be in the next 10 years. And thankfully I have a remote job, so I'm able to work remotely. I can work from anywhere in the world, this including one of them. And during this trip I have been working remotely, so that involved getting up at 6 a.m. For meetings, and then just working as much as I can throughout between travel, or even while traveling, for example on the train. Open up a laptop, do some work, using a hotspot as well, so the internet's not absolutely perfect, but using a hotspot, Wi-Fi connection in cafes, but mainly a hotspot. Thankfully, when I was at my grandparents' place in Colombo, I was able to use the internet there, but this trip has sort of given me, taking me out of the comfort zone and being able to work remotely. Now, something I was really worried about was not being able to work remotely. Like, I'll be too scared to even go in even like when I was living in Palmerston, I was too scared to even go to like a cafe to do some work. But now I'm in a different country, accomplishing that goal of doing work, paid employment, while being in a different country. So it's taking me one step closer to digital nomadism. And I think the beauty of what I want to tell you is, so this is where the well's going to be. The well's going to be located here, I believe. So basically how it works is there's no underground like water infrastructure in Jaffna anyway. And I'll include a map of Jaffna, I think. Yeah, I'll do that. So the idea is you'll get well from the water here, use a pump to get that water, and then use that basically for showering, toilet water. But obviously you would buy water, or at least find a method of getting clean water for drinking and consumption. So sorry, correction, I think this is going to be the actual well. As my parents get older, I think as time goes on, the time we spend with our parents diminishes. I might be the exception, but I kind of still want to maintain that close connection with my parents. And the beauty is I'm able to work remotely, and I can come here and there's a place I can stay. And I know my parents are going to be happy being surrounded by family, because obviously my auntie is building a house next door. My auntie doesn't live here yet, but they're building a house next door, so they're going to be connected with a community, I think, that aligns with them much better. Not saying the community back in New Zealand is bad, but it aligns much better in here. They just seem happier here, because my mum's able to go to the temple here a lot easier. There's many temples to go to, and that's kind of like what my mum wants to do, I think, to her last breath. So it's really nice that I can come here, visit, do some work here, maybe visit for a few months. I don't know how it's going to work with, for example, if you've got a spouse, if you have children, which is something I want to do in the future, is have a spouse and children. I don't know how I would work that in, but I know right now that being single, I have that control of my life where if I want to go to a place for a few months, I can. The dual citizenship helps a lot, so I'm able to travel to Sri Lanka, not requiring a visa. I'm not going to get stopped at the border. I've got a Sri Lanka passport, so I can travel here and do some work. So that's going to be really special to me. I can, because to my parents when they do decide to move here, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So there's no restrictions in regards to work or where I can live. So those are the two excuses I can't use. So the only excuse is if I have kids, children, or a spouse, that I can't do that. And another excuse would be that I have to convince myself to do it and come here. So yeah, that's kind of something I wanted to share with you. And one more thing I wanted to share was just coming to Sri Lanka and what people would think. I think a lot of people, they wouldn't even be able to locate Sri Lanka on a map, let alone the lifestyle here. Like people are going to have obvious preconceptions of what lifestyle in Sri Lanka is. People think we live in huts. And my dad said, like, if you have people who think that you live in mud huts, you shouldn't be friends with them. That being said, a lot of people don't. It's not there. Some people don't want to travel. Some people don't want to travel to Sri Lanka, which is fair, because I've not traveled to every single place in the world. But I think just realize and remember these things. Something I've been thinking about, because I get really annoyed by ignorance. So yeah, no, that's something I try and be is not ignorant, because it's kind of my biggest fear. But yeah, let me know what you think about this kind of update. It's a bit of a random one, but yeah, thanks for watching, and stay focused and talk soon. Say hello, I'm Mark.
Hello, Shivan.
This is incredible. We're on a train back to Colombo from Jaffna, and as you can see, had the laptop out, doing a little bit of work. Oh, it's too bright probably. There we go. So you can see like the train moving along. You can't see much. Outside there, yeah.
focus there.
What do you think, Dad? How's the trip been?
You can focus there.
I should have vlogged the entire Sri Lankan trip.
You should have done.
What should have I done? Better?
Yeah, you should have done the whole trip together.
Okay.
Really could have done something that's the temple. That would have.
Yeah, that would have been good, eh? Oh, next time. But I think I did the most important thing, and that was videoing your house. That's probably the most important thing. Yeah, we'll have a look soon.